The hiker who found a cave, then vanished forever. Cold open, midnight to 2:30. Imagine walking alone through one of America's most isolated deserts. No signal. No people. No sound. Except the wind. Then, you notice something unusual. A cave. But not just any cave. Its entrance is shaped like a perfect capital letter. M. Curious, you take a few steps closer. And suddenly, your entire body begins to vibrate. Not the ground. Your body. An overwhelming feeling of fear hits you without warning. Every instinct tells you, run. So you do. Days later, you tell thousands of people online what happened. Most laugh at you. Some call you a liar. Others challenge you to prove it. So you make one decision. You'll go back. You'll find the cave. You'll record everything. But after that trip, you are never seen again. Your truck is found. Your phone is found. Search teams spend days looking. Yet, you simply disappear. And more than a decade later, nobody knows what really happened to Kenny Veach. Part 2, the comment that started everything. Voiceover. Every mystery has a beginning. Some begin with a scream. Some begin with a missing person report. And some begin with a single comment on the internet. Screen fades into an old YouTube interface. Cursor slowly scrolls through comments. September 2014. At first, nobody knew the name Kenny Veach. He wasn't famous. He wasn't a journalist. He wasn't an explorer with millions of followers. He was simply someone who loved hiking. The Nevada desert had become his escape. Whenever life became noisy, he walked. Not through crowded tourist trails, but through places most people would never dare to visit. Miles away from the nearest road, where silence feels almost unnatural. For years, Kenny explored abandoned mines, hidden valleys, dry riverbeds, and forgotten mountain trails around the area near Las Vegas. To him, the desert wasn't empty. It was full of stories. Every rock, every canyon, every cave had a history waiting to be discovered. And that's exactly what kept bringing him back. One evening, Kenny was watching a hiking video on YouTube. The creator mentioned exploring dangerous caves. Like thousands of viewers, Kenny left a comment. But unlike everyone else, his comment would change everything. He wrote that during one of his hikes, he had discovered something unusual. A cave, with an entrance shaped exactly like the letter M. Not almost. Not roughly. A perfect M-shaped opening. But that wasn't the strange part. According to Kenny, the moment he walked close to the entrance, something happened that he had never experienced before. He claimed his body began to vibrate intensely. Not because of an earthquake. Not because of loud noise. He described it as if the vibration was coming from inside him. It frightened him so much that he immediately turned around and ran. Now pause for a second. Could this have been fear? Could adrenaline have made his body shake? Or did Kenny genuinely experience something he couldn't explain? No one knows. Because there were no photographs. No GPS location. No witnesses. Only his own words. At first, most people ignored the comment. But then, someone replied, "If it's real, go back and film it." Another person wrote, "You're making this up." Then another, "Without proof, nobody will believe you." That challenge may have changed the course of Kenny's life forever. Because instead of walking away from the conversation, He decided to do exactly what people asked. He would go back. He would find the cave again. And this time, he would bring a camera. Music fades. Screen turns black. Voiceover, slowly. But there was one problem. Kenny himself admitted. He had no idea where the cave actually was. Cut to black. In the next chapter, we'll retrace Kenny's route through the Nevada wilderness, examine the footage he recorded before his disappearance, and ask a crucial question: was he searching for the cave, or had the cave already become an obsession? Chapter 3: The Search for the M Cave. Soft desert wind, distant raven, slow cinematic music. Voiceover. Some people chase treasure. Others chase history. But sometimes, people become obsessed with answering a single question. And once that happens, turning back becomes harder than moving forward. After posting the mysterious comment, Kenny didn't disappear overnight. Life continued. He went to work, spoke with friends, and kept hiking. At least on the surface, nothing seemed unusual. But online, the conversation about the M Cave refused to die. More people replied to his comment. Some wanted answers. Some mocked him. Others genuinely believed he had discovered something unusual. Every notification reminded him of one thing. People wanted proof. Imagine putting yourself in Kenny's position. You know what you experienced. But nobody believes you. The only way to silence the doubts is to go back, find the cave, record it, and finally answer everyone's questions. That became Kenny's plan. Over the next few weeks, he prepared for another hike. This wasn't unusual. He had explored remote areas of southern Nevada many times before. He understood rough terrain. He carried supplies. He knew the risks of hiking alone. But this trip was different. Because now, he wasn't exploring. He was searching. Searching for one place. Among thousands of square kilometers of desert mountains. The Nevada wilderness doesn't forgive mistakes. During the day, the heat can become dangerous. At night, temperatures drop quickly. Many valleys look identical. Rock formations repeat for miles. Lose your sense of direction. And every path begins to look the same. To improve his chances, Kenny carried a camera. His plan was simple. If he found the cave, he would finally show the world it existed. No more arguments. No more disbelief. Just evidence. Before this final trip, Kenny had already uploaded hiking videos online. Those videos showed exactly the kind of places he loved exploring. Narrow mountain trails. Dry washes. Steep rocky slopes. Natural caves. Nothing supernatural. Nothing staged. Just one man. Completely at home in the wilderness. Investigators later reviewed those videos carefully. Not because they contained the answer, but because they offered something incredibly valuable. They showed Kenny's habits. How he navigated. Which areas he preferred. How experienced he really was. And one detail stood out. Kenny rarely seemed careless. He wasn't someone constantly taking unnecessary risks. He appeared calm, methodical, and familiar with the environment. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If someone like Kenny disappeared, what happened that day? That even experience couldn't overcome? Then came the day of the hike. He left. Just like he had before. No dramatic goodbye. No signs of panic. No indication that this journey would be his last. He drove toward the mountains. Parked his vehicle. Picked up his gear. And walked into the Nevada wilderness. That was the last confirmed moment. Anyone knows for certain. Days passed. No updates. No new videos. No messages. No return. Eventually, people realized something was wrong. The man who had promised to find the cave had vanished instead. Music stops. A search operation began. Rescue teams entered the same mountains Kenny had walked into. His truck was located. But Kenny was nowhere to be found. Not a single confirmed sighting. Not a single call for help. Not a single answer. End of chapter 3. The search teams believed they were looking for one missing hiker, but what they found in the mountains would only make the mystery even stranger. Fade to black. Chapter 4, The Last Hike. October 10, 2014. Kenny Veach packed his hiking gear. He grabbed his camera, got into his car, and drove toward the Nevada desert. This wasn't unusual. He had done it dozens of times before. The difference was, this time he had a mission. Find the mysterious M-shaped cave. And prove it existed. Before leaving, Kenny had already told people online he was going back. Thousands now knew what he was looking for. But nobody knew exactly where he planned to search. That detail would become a major problem later. Hours passed. Then night came. Kenny never returned home. At first, nobody panicked. Experienced hikers sometimes stayed out longer than expected. But when another day passed without any contact, his family reported him missing. Search and rescue teams were immediately called in. The first clue appeared quickly. Kenny's vehicle was found parked near the trailhead. Exactly where he had left it. That meant one thing. He had definitely entered the mountains. But he never came back. Rescue teams searched the surrounding area on foot. Helicopters scanned the mountains from above. Volunteers joined the search. Miles of rough terrain were covered. Every canyon. Every trail. Every dry wash. Nothing. Then investigators found something strange. There were no signs of a struggle. No damaged equipment. No obvious trail leading away. No evidence of another person. It was as if Kenny had simply disappeared. Days turned into weeks. The search area kept expanding. Professional rescuers believed that if Kenny had been injured nearby, they should have found at least something. A backpack. A camera. A piece of clothing. Anything. Instead, the desert remained completely silent. That's when the internet stepped in. People who had followed Kenny's story started examining maps. Watching his old hiking videos frame by frame. Comparing mountain peaks. Matching rock formations. Trying to figure out where the mysterious cave could be. Some believed they had found possible locations. Others claimed the cave never existed. The mystery was no longer just about a missing hiker. Now, people were trying to solve the case themselves. But one question refused to go away. If Kenny was experienced. If the weather was normal. If his car was still there. Then what stopped him from walking back? And then, investigators discovered one final detail from Kenny's online activity. A detail that would completely change the direction of the case. Fade to black. Next chapter, The Digital Trail. Chapter 5, The Digital Trail. While search teams were looking through the mountains, thousands of strangers were searching somewhere else. The internet. People revisited every comment Kenny had ever posted. Every hiking video. Every reply. Hoping he had left behind a clue. Then they found something important. Kenny wasn't an anonymous internet user. He had uploaded hiking videos to YouTube. They weren't scary. They weren't paranormal. They simply showed a man who loved exploring places most people avoided. Steep cliffs. Abandoned mine areas. Remote desert trails. The videos revealed one thing immediately. Kenny knew what he was doing. He wasn't someone who got lost on easy hiking routes. Online investigators began comparing his videos with satellite maps. Every mountain. Every canyon. Every visible rock formation. One goal. Find the mysterious M-shaped cave before anyone else did. Some viewers even traveled to Nevada themselves. They followed Kenny's old hiking routes, visited locations seen in his videos, and searched for the cave. They found abandoned mines, natural caves, steep valleys, but not the cave Kenny had described. Then another question appeared. If the cave really existed, why had Kenny never taken a single photograph of it? According to his own account, he became so frightened by the strange vibration that he immediately turned back. That explanation satisfied some people. Others weren't convinced. The internet quickly split into two groups. The first group believed Kenny had genuinely experienced something unusual. The second believed the cave story was simply a misunderstanding, or perhaps that he had misidentified a location and couldn't find it again. No evidence has ever confirmed that the M-shaped cave existed. And no evidence has ever proved that it didn't. That uncertainty is one reason the case continues to fascinate people. Then another discovery changed the discussion. Investigators learned that before disappearing, Kenny had mentioned returning specifically to search for that cave. This wasn't a random hike anymore. It was a targeted search. Which meant, if he changed his usual route to look for the cave, he may have entered terrain he had never explored before. That possibility changed everything. Months passed. Then years. The search officially ended. No confirmed trace of Kenny was ever found. No backpack. No camera. No verified recording of the M-shaped cave. Nothing. And that's exactly why, more than a decade later, people are still asking the same question. Did Kenny disappear because of the cave? Or did the cave simply lead him somewhere from which he couldn't return? Fade to black. Next chapter, the theories, accident, hoax, or something else? He hiker who found a cave, then vanished forever. Chapter 6, the theories. Whenever a mystery remains unsolved, people create their own answers. And in Kenny Veach's case, there were hundreds of them. But after removing all the internet rumors, only a few theories remain worth discussing. Let's examine them one by one. Theory 1, he had an accident. This is the explanation most search and rescue experts consider the most likely. The Nevada desert is extremely unforgiving. One wrong step, a fall into a narrow canyon, or an unnoticed mine shaft, could make rescue almost impossible. Remember, Kenny was searching for a place he couldn't even locate precisely. That means he may have left the trails he normally knew. If that happened, the risk increased dramatically. But there's a problem. Despite extensive searches, no confirmed trace of Kenny was ever found. No backpack. No camera. No clothing. Nothing that conclusively explained what happened. Theory 2. The cave never existed. Some people believe the M-shaped cave was simply a misunderstanding. Perhaps Kenny saw an unusual rock formation, returned weeks later, and couldn't find the exact location again. The desert can look surprisingly similar from different angles. Without GPS coordinates, finding one specific cave is incredibly difficult. But here's the problem. Kenny never acted like someone inventing a story for attention. Before disappearing, he openly planned to go back and document the cave. If he had wanted publicity alone, returning to search for it would have been a strange decision. Theory 3, an abandoned mine. Southern Nevada contains countless abandoned mines. Many are unstable. Some are hidden behind rocks and vegetation. Others have vertical shafts that are difficult to notice. If Kenny entered one while searching, it could explain why no obvious signs were found on the surface. However, no investigation ever confirmed that this happened. It's a possibility, not a proven fact. Theory 4, he chose to disappear. A small number of people suggested Kenny intentionally disappeared. Maybe he wanted to start over. Maybe the cave story was only a distraction. But investigators found no strong evidence supporting this idea. No confirmed financial preparation. No verified sightings. No documented proof that he planned to leave his life behind. Without evidence, this remains speculation. Theory 5, something paranormal. This is the theory that spread fastest online. People connected the strange vibration Kenny described to secret military experiments, unknown energy fields, even supernatural explanations. These ideas became popular because they're dramatic. But it's important to separate mystery from evidence. To date, there is no verified evidence linking Kenny's disappearance to paranormal activity. The vibration he described remains unexplained. But unexplained does not automatically mean supernatural. So after years of discussions, thousands of comments, and countless online videos, we're left with one uncomfortable truth. We still don't know what happened. Not because nobody searched, but because the available evidence simply isn't enough to reach a definite conclusion. And maybe that's exactly why Kenny Veach's story refuses to disappear. Not because we know the answer, but because we don't. Fade to black. Chapter 7, The Final Verdict. More than 10 years have passed. Yet, no one has found the M-shaped cave. No one has proven Kenny's story. And no one has explained where he went. That leaves us with only one thing: the evidence. Let's look at what we actually know. Fact number 1. Kenny Veach was a real hiker. He regularly explored remote areas of Nevada and shared hiking videos online. Fact number 2. He publicly claimed he had found an M-shaped cave where he experienced a strange vibration. No photograph or video of that cave has ever been confirmed. Fact number 3. After people challenged him to prove his story, he returned to search for the cave. That hike became his last known trip. Fact number 4. His vehicle was found. Kenny was not. Despite search efforts, no confirmed explanation for his disappearance was ever established. Now, everything beyond these facts is theory. And that's where many documentaries make a mistake. They choose the most exciting explanation instead of the most honest one. The truth is, we may never know what happened. Maybe Kenny fell somewhere rescuers couldn't reach. Maybe he entered terrain no one searched. Maybe the cave existed. Maybe it didn't. Right now, no available evidence can prove any of those possibilities. But perhaps the most fascinating part of this story was never the cave. It was how one short internet comment transformed into a mystery discussed around the world. One sentence. One promise to return. And then silence. Every year, new viewers discover Kenny's story. They pause the videos, open satellite maps, compare mountain ranges, and ask the same question people asked in 2014. What really happened? So far, no one has answered it. Maybe one day, someone will discover new evidence. Maybe a forgotten clue will finally explain everything. Or maybe the Nevada desert will keep its secret forever. Because sometimes, the scariest mysteries aren't the ones with monsters. They're the ones where a real person walks away. And history never records another confirmed step. Fade to black. Text on screen. The disappearance of Kenny Veach remains unsolved. If new verified evidence ever emerges, the understanding of this case may change.